Hey, so I'm Toasted Bagels, I guess, and I'm gonna do a reaction to Tom MacDonald's song. I have heard the song before. Full disclosure, I don't really remember the lyrics or anything like that. But I liked it, so I'm not gonna be telling you I don't like the song. And most of the time, people like to react to this because he's kind of counterculture, right? He goes against sort of the leftist system that we have in place and the narratives that we have in place. And people like this usually get bigoted, transphobed, white supremacists. They're doing it with Wall Street bets. They do it with Trump supporters, right? They do it with Jordan Peterson. They do it with everybody. Any conservative speaker who goes against identity politics and stuff, which most people, they call it being woke or whatever. They don't recognize what it actually is, which is kind of a wolf in sheep's clothing. But so I'm gonna jump into this. I wasted enough time. The reason I like this guy's music is because he makes me think. So I thought maybe I'd give you a reaction video like that.
I think it's crazy I'm the one who they labeled as controversial, and Cardi B is the role model for 12-year-old girls. There's rappers pushing Xanax at the top of the billboard, but if I mention race in a song, I'm scared I'll get killed for it. It's backwards, it's getting exponentially dumb. It's more difficult to get a job than purchase a gun. Eminem used to gay bash and murder his mom, and now he doesn't want fans if they voted for Trump.
It's getting exponentially dumb. That's because rappers like Cardi B get the push. All right, anybody that has nothing to say, they fit an image, whatever. Their handlers tell them what to wear and all that stuff. They get the push, right? People like this though, he's afraid of getting shot because he's actually got something to say, and he's an independent rapper. And then he goes on to talk about like, Eminem pulling that flip, and it's hard to blame people. Like the entire media, political, and Hollywood systems all leftist, right? So all the people in Hollywood all toe the line for this stuff, and they kind of have to. A lot of them maybe feel guilty, maybe a lot of them believe it, maybe a lot of them don't believe it, but if they don't spit out, they turn the little crank on their head and the right ideological phrases come out, then they don't get work, right? So somebody like Eminem, huge, he goes from gay bashing and songs about killing Kim and all this crazy shit to saying I don't want Trump supporters as fans, right? So that's pretty much the path that everybody goes.
We're ashamed to be American. You should probably love it, cause you have the right to hate it and not get stoned to death in public. As children we were taught how to walk and talk, but the system wants adults to sit down and shut up. Cancel culture runs the world now, the planet went crazy. Label everything we say as homophobic or racist. If you're white, then you're privileged, guilty by association. All our childhood heroes got me too'd or they're rapists. They never
Oh, yeah. I don't even. There was so much there. I kind of forget what I was gonna say. But yeah, he mentioned the woke mob, cancel culture. That's why all these leftists, like, that's why the big stars and stuff have to toe the line. It's because of the cancel culture, right? And if you speak out, somebody like this, even the things that I'm saying right now, or I'm speaking out against Marxism, um, if you're important enough, you'll get canceled, you'll get deplatformed. You see it. We've seen Wall Street bets. You see Parlor. You see people like Jordan Peterson. Everybody is transphobic. They're all white supremacists. They're all hate speakers. They all got to get deplatformed. They all got to get canceled. It's just a tool, right? Controls how we think and speak. And it's amazing because the people that are doing this, the people that are pushing this like Marxist, anti-American agenda. I'm Canadian, by the way. I appreciate the USA more than I ever have in my entire life, thanks to this Colhonia virus BS. Um, the Americans, the people that are fighting for this stuff, that want to burn flags and get rid of free speech, don't understand that they wouldn't be able to do that if they didn't have the freedom they do. You can vote your way into communism, you gotta shoot your way out, right? So
childhood heroes got me too'd or they're rapists. They never freed the slaves. They realized that they don't need the chains. They gave us tiny screens. We think we free cause we can't see the cage. They knew that race war would be the game they need to play. For people to big teams, they use the media to feed the flame. They saw
divide and conquer tactics. That's all that's going on. And I love the line, they didn't free the slaves. They just figured out they didn't need the chains. The more you understand about the powers that be in our society, whatever you want to say about that, the more you realize that we are sort of in a prison. There's just no bars. And the sad thing is your friends and all your community members, they're all prisoners with you, but they're also your wardens, right? Because they're the ones that tell you, get back in line, stop thinking your own thoughts, right? Just crank the head and say the right lines. People don't realize how programmed we've become nowadays. That's why this person's controversial, because it goes against the programming.
The media to feed the flame. They so fake woke. Facts don't care about feelings.
Ben Shapiro.
They won't tell me what to believe in. They so fake woke. Same old safe zones. They so fake woke. Facts don't care about your feelings. I think it's crazy how these people screaming facts, but they fake woke. Hate their neighbor cause he wears a mask or he stays home. Has a daughter but his favorite artist said he slays hoes. Picks her up from school, music slaps on the way home. Censorship's an issue cause they choose what they erase. There's a difference between hate speech and speech that you hate. I think Black Lives Matter was the stupidest name when the system's screwing everyone exactly the same.
Right? Black Lives Matter. It's a good idea, but it's a movement that's been co-opted by people that mean us no good. People that mean us harm, right? And they're radicalizing and enraging people to basically do their bidding. And they kind of choose what facts are appropriate. And the whole censorship thing, exactly. People that are advocating for this, we don't want hate speech, this and that, they got no idea like who chooses what. In Canada, they're trying to pass legislation like they have in England, where you can't put anything on the internet that somebody finds offensive. You know? Well, as Jordan Peterson said, okay, what if I'm talking to one person, that's fine. What if I'm talking to 10, 100, 1,000? What if I'm talking to 10,000 people? Anything that's important is possibly going to offend somebody, right? But, you know, they got to control what we speak because we think in language. So if you control what they speak and they start removing words and they breed it out of us, it actually limits our ability to think, right? And it controls narratives, and that's what you have to control. Control history, control the present, control the future.
I just want to spend Thanksgiving Day with food in my family without being accused of celebrating native casualties. We got so divided, it's black and white and political. Republicans are bigots, libtards if you're liberal. There's riots in our streets and it's just getting worse. Y'all screaming deep on the police, y'all are genius for sure. They're underfunded already, they're way too busy to work. Order food and call the cops, see what reaches you first. Segregation ended, that's a lie in itself. That was a strategy to make us think they were trying to help. They knew that racism was hot if they designed it to sell. We buy up every single box and divide us ourselves.
Oh my god, there's so much. I can't even. There's speakers like Thomas Sowell. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name the right way, but he says that, you know, basically black people live on a modern plantation, and it's, you know, white liberals that try to keep them there. You know, the oppression narrative and stuff like that. Because obviously racism does exist, like nobody's saying it doesn't. But it certainly misses half the story, right? It's like you remove Aunt Jemima off the bottle of syrup. Well, that was actually a story of a woman who overcame unbelievable odds and oppression and, you know, became like a millionaire, right? So, yeah, the destruction of symbols. I don't know. I can't even. He says too many things, and I can't keep track of it all to tell you all.
So, fake woke. Facts don't care about feelings. They know they won't tell me what to believe in. They so fake woke. Same old safe zones. They so fake woke. Facts don't care about your feelings. We use violence to get peace and wonder why it isn't working. That's like sleeping with a football team to try and be a virgin. Politicians are for sale and someone always makes the purchase. But you and I cannot afford it. Our democracy is worthless.
Was he trying to? What was that line about? Trying to use violence for peace? Yeah, harassing and killing people in the streets. The most divisive thing possible. Intentionally done, if you ask me. Just to make so people like me who actually believe in the movement, but I'm rational, and then when I see what's become of the movement, I'm like, well, I can't support that anymore, which he mentions in his other song, right? all lives matter or no lives matter. Um, but yeah, we're living in a truth inversion for sure. And on that topic, BLM was just nominated for a Peace Prize, Nobel Peace Prize. So okay.
Someone always makes the purchase, but you and I cannot afford it. Our democracy is worthless. If a man has mental illness, call him crazy, say it silently. When country's going crazy, we accept it as society. Get sick and take a pill. When the side effects get you high, you get addicted like these rappers dying fighting with sobriety. Censoring the facts turns our children into idiots. They claim it's for our safety. I'll tell you what it really is. Removing information that empowers all the citizens. The truth doesn't damage points of view that are legitimate. They're trying to change amen to amen and women. How'd we let them make praying a microaggression? Instead of asking God for the strength to keep winning, we cheat to get ahead and then we ask him for forgiveness. Feminism used to be the most righteous of fights, but these days it feels like they secretly hate guys. I don't trust anyone who bleeds for a week and don't die. I'm just kidding, but everything else that I said is right.
Oh my God, I had so many ideas I already forgot because every line is so good, right? But it's true with each new iteration of the isms, like second wave feminism, hated third wave feminism, and I used to believe in that stuff. I used to teach anti-racism, anti-oppression. I was fairly leftist. I believed all this Marxist stuff. So easy to teach, so easy to understand, so easy to stomach, so believable. I went through all that, but I woke up pretty hard listening to speakers, people like this guy. People are actually telling the truth. And my automatic reaction to them was like, this guy's a racist, right? Until you deprogram yourself a little bit.
They so fake woke. Facts don't care about feelings. They know they won't tell me what to believe in. They so fake woke. Same old safe zones. They so fake woke. Facts don't care about your feelings.
This guy's killer. Facts don't care about your feelings. It's a Ben Shapiro line, so I'm guessing he's a Ben Shapiro fan. He's a pretty smart guy. But yeah, that was Tom MacDonald's fake woke. The fake woke thing, it's the most empty, marketable thing ever. There's a lot of speakers that have a lot to say about it. If I'm white and I denounce my own identity and hold my guilt higher than everybody else's, it gives me some kind of moral boost, some moral high ground to look down on my peers or whatever. Whoever destroys their identity more has a stronger one. And like the whole fake wokeness, it's so empty. Every company, Nike, Apple, they all have like BLM fist symbols in their like Twitter feeds, and all these soccer stars, they're all taking a knee and shit, and they're wearing Nike and all that stuff. Like, corporations love this stuff because it's all good for their brand, but it's so empty. There's no action at all, because to say that we're arguing against the roots of slavery, and yet all of our products are being made by modern day slaves in China, forced labor, right? And they actively lobby when the government tried to take stands against buying this stuff, right? But they actively lobby against that, so you know how they feel deep down. It's all empty rhetoric, but yeah. So this guy's really important. His songs are pretty sick, and he spits a lot of truth, So anyway, go down to his channel. You listen to his music, give him a like, subscribe, and thanks if you made it this far, because I know I talk a lot, so I appreciate it.